Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Dr. Heather with the Change Cave, and today I have a Change Cave member, Susan McBRIDE, joining us today. I'm so excited to have her because, Susan, you have been a member since the very beginning. You were a beta tester. You have come along while we've been developing the program. You've even been kind enough to provide me some feedback here and there. And so you really are ensconced in all the different aspects of the program. And so I thought it'd be great to have you on to talk a little bit about what it's like to be a member of the Change Cave. So welcome, and thank you for coming. Yes. So let me just, for those who are watching who don't know what the Change Cave is, I'm just going to describe it, and then I've got some questions I want to throw at you, and we'll get going. Okay.
All right.
Okay, so the Change Cave is a 12-module online learning institute. It's a series of modules that get unveiled every month, and they're available for 60 days, and they're steeped in the foundational principles of wellness. In addition to that, we have a weekly newscast, we have a monthly mindset seminar, we have a fierce, like-minded group of wellness warriors in a Facebook group that all work together to identify their personal goals and come alongside each other for accountability and support. And it's something that I developed because even as somebody who's in the wellness industry, who's been a chiropractor for 22 years, I still need that support. I need that those ongoing resources and accountability to help make my goals happen. And I figured other women would want that as well. And so let's dive into it. I'd love to know your story, a little bit about your wellness background, struggles you've had, kind of what brought you to where you are today.
Sure. Well, wellness is sort of a funny thing because, of course, I've learned so much already. My ideas of wellness getting started were basically driven by a number on a scale, honestly, or a size on a tag or something like that. It really had very little to do with my health and more about my size. And so in the pursuit of that, perfect whatever, probably driven by Teen Magazine at some point, I probably have tried, I feel like I've tried actually every diet or program there is on the planet. I think I've probably in my lifetime, it'd be interesting to know, I think I've lost 3,000 pounds.
And you're not alone. There's lots of women out there with that same issue for sure.
Right, exactly. And, over time you start to realize how it affects your psyche and just, the messages you tell in your head, it just got to be really muddled in there. And, having daughters, just having to rethink that whole, why do we have this size? I look back and I say, I wasn't large, I was curvy, I can accept it now. But at the time, I was thinking as I was thinking about being with you, I think one of the craziest things I ever did that just now seems laughable is in college, the saltine cottage cheese hot dog diet. Like, I'm sure that was the thing, and it was working because of course it was so restrictive, but where is the health and the wellness in that? I don't know. So
and Susan, you and I had a similar journey. I've always worked out and I've always watched my diet. I've just never done any either effectively until I was about 30. And so same thing. I thought 2 plates of cheese nachos was actually pretty good because you were getting protein and I didn't know. And I think you and I have talked a little bit about kind of going through those patterns of doing well for a while and then overeating and eating the wrong things and then hating ourselves and then moving forward from that again. And it's super frustrating, isn't it?
Yeah, the Monday do-over gets really old, for sure.
It definitely does. It definitely does. And for myself, it wasn't until I said, you know what, this isn't about numbers on the scale anymore. This is about my personal health and how I want to feel when I'm 70 and how the things I want to be able to do now and then, that things really started to change. And so I've seen incredible transformation from you in the last year and a half. And none of that has been overnight. We are not fooling anybody that these changes are quick or that we can make any guarantees about immediate weight loss or any of those things. That's not what this program is about. But share with me a little bit about once you joined the Change Cave, and we're going to talk about kind of what led you there. But once you joined, what kinds of things did you notice that were maybe different or that spoke to you?
Well, I think you kind of hit on the point of it just then, is that it's, I think I'm finally accepting the fact that it is not a instantaneous thing. And there's actually now kind of relief and comfort in knowing that and being able to wrap my head around that. And you know, the words journey and actually the one that's really stuck with me in the Change Cave is the word practice. You know, coming from I was a dancer and a gymnast. It's like, you know, the idea that we're going to get this all on the first try, that you're going to run down that vault and hit it and do the, you know, the layout backflip the first time just is ridiculous in any place, anything that you are pursuing. But for some reason in this arena, we think it has to be maybe I'll give you 2 weeks, but that's about it. You know, everything's like a 2-week fix, you know? And so I have just found, like, I think if anything has changed in my mental state, it's just that idea that this is a lifetime endeavor. And it's not that, like, at the end of my life, I have achieved it. It's that I'm achieving little pieces every single day. Every little thing I add is a new practice to my health. So yeah, every day a step in the right direction.
I love the saying, there's no there. We are there now. This is now. And every decision we make moves us in a direction, either away or toward a healthier, more fulfilling life. And so I love that. And you and I've talked a lot about little tiny baby steps and implementing them. Once they're in the schedule, then we layer on something else. And when falls happen, we're kind to ourselves. We're not horrible and nasty in our minds. And that also is a practice, right? Because we've learned how to be pretty big bullies.
Oh, yeah, for sure. We say things to ourselves we'd never say to any other human person. Yeah.
So true. What have you found in regard to one thing you and I, early on, I bounced a few ideas off you in regard to how to disseminate the information I wanted to disseminate, module form and newscast and mindset. And you came up with some really great ideas that we've now implemented. Right. And so now that these modules are, basically they come out every month, they're available for 60 days, and we've sectioned them now so that there's a baby step if you want to just take a little bite. There's core content if you want to dig a little deeper with 3 to 4 PDFs that you can read through and work on, and then there's electives if you are really in a space where you've got some bandwidth to dig a little deeper, you want to challenge yourself, you can do that. How have you found that as far as getting through the content?
Oh gosh, I love that, actually, because it's not just about like where you are in the journey, but life happens and crazy things happen. And there are seasons where you have the time and the motivation to dig deep. Yeah. And there are times when the baby step is just almost all you can do. And I love knowing that I can always pick up, I can go as far as I want to. And there are subjects that are more interesting or more applicable. Like, there might be something that comes across and you're like, oh no, that part of my journey I've got, I can have a handle on that. But then there are other parts where this is so new to me. All I can do is take this little bite. I love that, because there's just a fire hose of information out there. And I mean, first of all, the Change Cave itself, one of the first loves about it is that I don't have to go sifting through the dirt and the stuff. I mean, you're just handing us the golden nuggets, and then you're actually spacing them for us. Like, okay, if there's only one thing you can do, it's start here. And I love that. So yeah, that's a great piece.
And that was big intention too, was, 22 years of patients coming in so confused about what they're reading, what they're being told by lay people who have no experience, and doing things on the worst case that are not successful, and on the best case that are not successful, and the worst case that are actually dangerous. And so that is a big point of the Change Cave is, here you go, here is well-resourced expert content. And it's not just me. I mean, I'm bringing in, if I don't know something, I'm going to bring somebody in to talk about it. And that I've been proud of, I think, is us being able to disseminate that kind of information in a way that the newest person and the most seasoned person can get something.
Absolutely. I love that. And that just shows to me that we're set up to pursue this for a lifetime. Yeah. I know that if I can't get farther than the baby step, I'll see it again, or I can go after it later. So yeah, I love it.
And that is the intent, is that although the content's only available for 60 days, it wraps around again so that you can focus on the other subjects, but knowing that the perfect plate or the sleep module or a hydration module, it's coming back. And so And that's part of, again, I say to new members, commit for a year. I'm not going to pretend that this journey is going to be any shorter. It likely is going to be a year's worth of effort to get through content and make long-term, not short-term transformational changes in your wellness. And so that's been great. Will you tell the story? I did not prep you for this. Will you tell the story? This will segue us into community, about ballet school, and how when you and I were talking about what this community was going to feel like, do you remember that, about the older students and the younger students?
Oh, well, actually,
and if you don't, I'll prompt you.
I don't remember a ballet story.
Yeah, isn't that so funny that when you say something, it leaves such an impact on somebody?
What did I say?
I love that.
Somebody flipped it off and it made an impact. Yay!
Here's what you said, and it helped me to tailor how we behave in the Facebook group, and it's this. What some people have said is, oh, your group sounds like a bunch of experts, or your group sounds like a bunch of beginners.
Okay. Yeah, right.
And so what Susan said to me is, she said, it reminds me of dance school, because there are the younger students who are not as seasoned as the older students. And if the instructor disappears or can't be there, then the older students help the younger students along the way. And I really felt like that's been happening in our community, is that there are some people that know a lot about nutrition, some that know a lot about fitness. They'll post their stuff. They'll encourage those of us that might be weaker in an area. And that was my hope, is that we would have that kind of community.
Yeah, I think that was the first thing I was scared about, actually, of being in the Change Cave. I thought I was going to come in with everybody already having achieved, like they all knew everything, and I would just be bumbling along, with enough information to kind of be dangerous, actually.
Yeah.
It's been a really great community, because like you said, there's some that have strengths here, but the weaknesses here. And it's been just such a supportive group. There really is no bad place to start in this, people. Everybody's really gracious that way. Yeah.
And I love, we very quickly realized, originally in March when I launched, it was open to anybody. And we quickly realized that the level of authenticity and sharing that was going on made it only appropriate for me to kind of close it to a tighter culture of women, and that being women and over 40 women.
First of all.
First of all, women. Sorry, no boys allowed anymore. But that's facilitated an opportunity for women to become very vulnerable in the group, even with women who they don't know well, but they feel safe with.
Right. I know, that's amazing. I don't know how you did that, but it's
really
just a really good mix of women, and I feel like there's some who I understand their struggles better than people I feel like I should know better, that I interact with day to day, and it's been really amazing to see people be very honest about their struggles, and then other people being very supportive, and a lot of hands raised. I've experienced that too. I think if anything, there's that community feel of, yes, we've been there, and we have a lot. It's also a very creative group with solutions and ideas, and they're super funny sometimes, some of the things they come up with, and it's like, I never would have thought about that. It's fun though,
I know. Hillary's disco dancing in front of the microwave always made me laugh. To get more movement in her life.
Or that big jug of water that somebody had hydration. What was that? Like, how do you lift that thing to even drink out of it?
That was awesome. A hydration measuring technique. Thank you very much, Val, for that. The other thing that I wanted to be really careful of is that there are some groups who meet and they end up all sitting in their pool of dysfunction and not moving forward. And I was not, that was absolutely not what we were going to do. So anybody who's listening, know that you will be supported, but people will also get behind you and say, come on, we're moving forward. We're not going to sit here and just complain about our plight. We're going to make changes and make movements forward. And so I think somehow the chemistry has happened well there. And I've been a small part that really the founding members have been incredibly powerful in that, you being one of them. So thank you for that, for sure. So we've talked about sort of the accountability piece and the community piece and the resources piece. Is there anything you would tell somebody who's kind of on the fence, they're not sure whether to do it or not? Is there anything that you could share with them that would help them make their decision?
Well, maybe a couple things. First of all, I would say the best, to me, the couple of best things here are that it's all at your own pace. I mean, there are some that are going to zip ahead, but I don't feel like this is a race in any bad sense of the word. It's all coming alongside. I feel like everything that you give us, because of it's so interactive and it's hands-on, it becomes very personal. So I know that my journey doesn't look like anybody else's, but it's actually nice because I bring a certain contribution. And I feel like that's what I would say to people that are sitting on the fence, is that there is a place in this community for you. You might not know what it is yet, or you might not, feel comfortable that you can come in and join us. But I feel like every new person brings just such a great perspective, and I've appreciated all of their different goals, and some of them have wellness goals that I never would have thought of at all, and I want to be like them when I grow up, so it's kind of nice.
I know, I've seen that too, and I love that we all think so differently and have different motivators and things in our life, and it causes us, that's a big thing, is I wanted us to be challenged to think outside our typical box, so that change could look different too. And
it's not one size fits all, that's for sure. And that's what I appreciate so much, is that everybody is different. And like what you were saying about, we're not gonna, if you share your struggles, it's not that you get, I mean, there's plenty of grace for sure, but it's not like a pat you on the head and we're moving on. I feel like it's more like the hand to, lift you back up on your horse and get you going in the direction. Because we all, we've all been sharing what it is that our goals are. So we kind of know, like, okay, that's just a setback, just, you can do it. And I just really appreciate that. It's nice.
That's great. Well, I thank you so much for joining me today. I appreciate it. I know you're a busy, busy woman, and I'm grateful because the founding and beta members have been such an influence in the flavor of the program, and will continue to be. And so it's great because I really feel like we had quite a bit of collaboration in the beginning in developing the program into something that's applicable to many, many different types of people, and that we can really support each other in the process with great resources, the community, and the accountability. Right. So did I miss anything? Did I forget to ask you anything? Or do you think we covered what
no,
we...
Okay. I think you did great. I mean, gosh, why do people want to do this? It seems like it seems like such a deal. I mean, it's such a part of my team now. I feel like the Change Cave is a big part of my fitness team, so my wellness team.
And we do talk about that, don't we? Establishing your personal improvement plan and team, and what that looks like. And so I'm so glad that you mentioned that, and that the Change Cave is part of that. So thank you for that, Susan. Okay, Susan, stay on the line. We're going to say a quick goodbye to our audience, and then I'll chat with you after. So guys, thanks so much. If you are interested in the Change Cave, there will be a link posted either in the description or the comments below. If you have any questions, just Facebook message me, or get a hold of me through the wellfitandfed.com website. I am happy to answer any questions and help you determine if this is a right fit for you. So thanks, everybody. We'll chat soon. And thanks very much to Susan McBRIDE for joining me today. We'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.